Now that both AMD and Nvidia have released their flagship and honestly quite expensive GPUs, the next logical step is the release of mid-tier GPUs like RTX 4060, 4070 and RX 7800 and 7700. But here is the problem. What the hell is even a mid-range GPU in 2023? Does a $650 GPU qualify as a mid-tier GPU? So let's talk about it. This video is brought to you by scdkey.com, where you can purchase Windows 10 Pro OEM keys for only $15.77. Use the link in the video description below to purchase Windows 10 Pro or Windows 10 Home OEM keys, and don't forget to use my 25% coupon code TP25. To activate your Windows license, press and hold Windows key plus S and type activation settings in the search box. Next, click on Change Product Key at the bottom of the page and paste your newly purchased Windows 10 Pro OEM key. Wait for a few minutes and boom! Your Windows 10 Pro is now fully activated. And by the way, you can always upgrade to Windows 11 Pro for free. You can also get Microsoft Office 2019 and various other PC games. So check the links that I have put in the video description below. And now let's get back to the video. So as a gamer myself, I can totally relate to the frustration that you guys are feeling right now when it comes to the cost of current generation GPUs. While GPUs like RTX 4090 deliver breathtaking performance, they are way too expensive. Hey, we all want to enjoy our games, but we don't want to sell our kidneys just to buy a GPU. What's more funny is that these high-end GPUs aren't even selling that well. We have already seen that the Nvidia RTX 4080 and RTX 4070 Ti, as well as AMD's RX 7900 XT and RX 7900 XTX, they are all readily available at their retail price in most stores. You can even find them in stock at your local Best Buy. It's a far cry from the days of the GPU shortage when it was almost impossible to find any of these graphics cards, let alone a high-end one. So to me, it's pretty clear that Nvidia and AMD were hoping for a completely different outcome in 2023. They probably expected crypto mania to continue driving up the demand for GPUs, leading to perpetual shortage and inflated prices. But as we have seen, that hasn't been the case. So now these companies are left with these high-priced GPUs that don't seem to be selling like they had hoped. Isn't it funny that Nvidia wanted to launch the mediocre RTX 4070 Ti as 4080 12GB model and they wanted to sell it at $900? They really thought that gamers would just bend over and take it from behind. Even at $800, the RTX 4070 Ti is really not a good value for money. Especially considering the fact that the last generation RTX 3070 Ti, it launched at a lower price of only $599. So here's the bad news for Nvidia and AMD as we progress through the year 2023. We are in a global economic downturn with the cost of living going up while people continue to lose their jobs. Gamers have less disposable income today than what they had just a few years back, which begs the question, how will AMD and Nvidia position their upcoming mid-tier GPUs like the RTX 4060, 4070 and Radeon RX 7800 and 7700? So here is how I see this situation. I see only two options for Nvidia and AMD to get out of this mess. The first option is to price the new GPUs pretty much in the line with the existing RTX 40 series and RX 7000 series GPUs. So in other words, double down on the new normal of super high priced GPUs. And if that happens, then expect to see RTX 4070 at around $650, RTX 4060 Ti at around $570 and RTX 4060 to sell at around $500. Similarly, Radeon RX 7800 XT may possibly be priced between $650 to $700, while the RX 7700 XT may go around for $550. But I don't think this pricing strategy will fly with most gamers. After all, who would like to pay $500 for RTX 4060, which is rumored to be based on the feeble AD107 chip? And to add insult to injury, Nvidia has reduced its memory size to 8GB while also chopping the memory bus to only 128-bit and reducing the overall bandwidth to a puny 288GB per second. Remember that the last generation RTX 3060 came with 12GB of video RAM and it had a bandwidth of 360GB per second. So if Nvidia and AMD insist on charging these exorbitant prices, I can't see these cards flying off the shelves. Customers are savvy and they are not going to pay for a premium for a GPU that does not offer significant value, not in 2023. And this time around, there won't be scalpers or bots to swallow up all the inventory and create an artificial scarcity and FOMO among gamers. Which brings me to the second option. Maybe Nvidia and AMD will revert back to sane pricing, reflecting the current market situation. But that would instantly put a huge pricing pressure on already released GPUs like the RTX 4090, 4080 and RX 7900 XTX. If you feel that an $800 RTX 4070 Ti or a $1200 RTX 4080 is expensive now, think about how ridiculous that pricing would appear at the end of this year. So most likely Nvidia and AMD will have to cut the prices on all their GPUs across the board. We have already started seeing headlines like these suggesting that gamers are pulling back and they are not buying GPUs anymore. Honestly, it's really hard to see how AMD and Nvidia can navigate out of this situation. I think they have painted themselves into a corner. Unless they decide to slash their prices, they are bound to see inventory collecting dust on store shelves. So I think it's a no-brainer. Either they adapt to market demands or face the consequence of unsold GPU stock. In fact, the Nvidia and AMD's current situation could get a lot worse if Intel delivers on their upcoming second generation Arc discrete GPUs. Intel has made steady progress with their driver quality. It has been reported that Intel Arc GPUs have seen up to 87% performance gain since its launch, largely thanks to the improved drivers. This has also resulted in an aggregate 43% improvement in DX9 gaming. Now I'm sure Intel will take all these driver learnings and come better prepared with the second generation Arc discrete GPU. Some sources have even suggested that these new Intel GPUs may arrive early next year and offer Nvidia RTX 4080 level of performance for far less money. Now guys, these are all just rumors, but we gamers can keep our fingers crossed and we can hope for the best. Whatever happens, I think it could get really ugly for Nvidia. And I cannot wait to see that smug smile on Jensen Huang's face vanish. Remember, just a few months back, this guy said that the era of declining GPU prices, it's a thing of the past. And I really hope that he is proven wrong. In the meantime, if you're planning to upgrade your GPU, then check out this video over here. In this video, I share my pick of the best GPUs in various price categories. So go ahead and watch that video and I will see you guys over there. Bye.